So, what we have here is a DOM IX10KG that Priest 144 is loaning me. And I've already picked this lock in a separate video, so if you'd like to see that pick, then I can show it in the description. Here's the key. If you're familiar with the DOM KG line, you'll know that the key has this interactive element here, which gets pushed up by an element in the keyway in order to lift a pin above the shear line. This particular DOM KG is kind of interesting because it is originally attached to an electronic switch. So when I insert this key, you'll see that it doesn't turn this direction. It's got some spring tension on it, and it only turns 90 degrees clockwise. So let me get this out of the device and you can see what exactly is going on and why this is. So here's the lock itself, and you can probably already see that it's a little odd. It has this electrical component on the back with these attachments for wires, and this is a switch, and when we turn the lock it's going to change which of these electrical connections are connected. So there's 6 of them, and you can see back here in my diagram that I've drawn 6 little flags. So in the off position, when the key has not been inserted and rotated, these 2 are connected and these 2 are connected. In the on position, these 2 are connected and these 2 are connected. So I'm going to hook this up to a multimeter and rotate the key and show you a little bit of how that works. So I've done my best to kind of get this all in frame. I'm just going to quickly show you how the electronic switch portion of this lock operates. So we'll connect one of our leads to this top, and we'll go through and test to see if we've got connectivity. So we've got connectivity on that bottom one, which is what I showed in our diagram, and I will go ahead and turn the lock on, and now we have connectivity here. You can see how that works, and of course it also is operating the same but mirrored on this side. A pretty cool little feature. I'll go ahead and show you how the actuation of the switch works, and please notice that the C-clip has been removed, so that is why we have this slight wobbling along the axis of the plug. That's what this is. There's no C-clip in. Anyway, so we've got this half moon shape, and as it turns, it's going to actuate this matching half moon shape inside of this electronic switch. So to finally look at the interesting portion of this lock, you remember that we can't rotate past this 90 degrees, and so the way that they have achieved this is by peening a pin down through this hole in the upper left. There's actually a couple of holes through which a peen could be achieved. You've got 2 in the bottom, 2 on the top. I'm not sure if all 4 of them could accept peens or if only the top 2 could accept peens. But essentially there's a little pin that sticks out through this angle, and it stops us from being able to rotate. So when we actually retract the plug, it also stops us from being able to remove it because it's getting caught on the lip. So we do have a nice slot provided by the keyway, and we have to line that up with the peen in order to remove this. And so actually right now I'm fully extended and we're still stuck here, and we have to rotate it just a little bit more to get it out. So now that we've removed it, in full disclosure, I've got no driver pins and no springs in here because I didn't want to mess this up on camera. But here is the actual cutout that would have been giving us trouble when trying to ungut it. And you'll see that you definitely want to use a shim to cover this large cutout. And you also see that there are really 2 cutouts. So when taking it apart, not only do you have to make sure that you get it rotated at the right angle, but you have to escape this primary cutout and get into the secondary cutout by pulling it out to the right depth before you can escape. So hopefully that explains the difficulties of the ungutting process. I guess I'll show you you can see that pin sticking out there. And I'll go ahead and put this back in. You can see that when you're reinserting it, the same thing happens. We're not able to go in any further because that pin right there is in the way, and we have to rotate it all the way to the right angle, at which point it'll slip in. And now it also won't fix because we're in the wrong slot. We're in that secondary slot. And there we go. Now we're in the primary slot, we've achieved rotation, and we're free to put the C-clip back on the lock. So thanks again to Priest144 for letting me play with and pick this really cool lock, and I hope this is going to help anyone else who wants to gut this in the future.